I have been a C4 to 5 incomplete quadriplegic for almost 8 years now. And in the time that I have been in a wheelchair, I've come across a lot of people that don't necessarily know how to ask questions. So I am here to give you a little bit of an education on what to ask, what not to ask, and how to ask these things to someone in a wheelchair. Number one, all right, this is the most common question I get. The question is, can you feel sexual pleasure? I can, but not everybody else can. It depends on where in the spinal cord the injury is. Mine was in the C4 to 5 vertebrae, which is about here. But the fact that mine was an incomplete means that I have sensation from there down to the rest of my body. Other people are not as lucky as me. Question number 2, why are you in a wheelchair? Okay, this is a perfectly justified question, but you wouldn't just go up to somebody in a wheelchair and ask them this question. It can be a little bit confronting for somebody who has only recently had an injury, and I have had people come up and ask me, what's wrong with you? That is a big no-no. If you really want to know why somebody is in a wheelchair, just ask them. Just say, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but can I ask why you're in a wheelchair? But only do this if the conversation calls for it. If you're talking to somebody in a wheelchair and that comes up, then you can ask them, but it's not really a polite thing to go up to someone and just ask, what's wrong with you? Why are you in a wheelchair? I've had a little girl come up to me one time and she goes, did you break your legs? That was absolutely adorable. I think she was probably about 4 years old and she just had no clue what to ask me. That doesn't bother me at all though, because after a while you sort of just get used to it. Kids don't know how to ask these questions. Question number 3, can you feel your legs? Yes, I can, but not everybody can, and not everybody is going to be okay to answer this question. And like I said previously, it's something that you would only ask if the conversation called for it. If you were talking about their injury, if you're talking about that in general, then that question can come up. But apart from that, it's not an appropriate question to just go up to somebody in a wheelchair and say, can you feel your legs? Question number 4, and this is a question that I get mainly from children, but I have had a few adults actually ask this question. Do you sleep in your chair? No, I don't. I sleep in a bed. Question number 5. This one is perfectly okay to ask a person in a wheelchair. Do you need help? But if they're doing something that clearly is an easy task to do, just leave them. But if they're trying to pick something up off the floor, if they're trying to get something up off a shelf, or if they're trying to open a door, yes, that is more than okay to ask this question. And there's nothing wrong with being polite. Keep in mind with all of these questions, this is not every single person that's in a wheelchair. This is just me. If there's any questions that you think I'm missing, please write them in the comments and I might do another video explaining those questions as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I love you all and I will see you next week.